One of the great questions is to understand why we measure what we measure. And why do people shy away from measurement? And one of the great challenges is that we don't measure things to get ourselves into a position that we drive anxiety, or that we drive insecurity, or that we drive people's innate inability to actually realize that they're good at what they do. What we actually do with measurement is we put it there in order to be able to coach people more effectively. And this is such an important conversation, because if we measure to coach, it changes the way we go to play the game. Inside of the sales environment, we think about a couple of key areas that we like to measure. We like to think about how is a real estate agent actually tracking so far from the start of the month through until today around what they're doing on their listings, their sales, and their income, and then what have they actually achieved compared to their target. And the reason why that's such an important thing is that let's say that you have to get 4 listings a month. You need to get 1 listing by the 7th, 2 listings by the 14th, 3 listings by the 21st, and at least your 4th listing by the time you get to the 28th. The benefit of doing that is that if you list consistently, you sell consistently. And what great people realize is that you can't get to the 21st of the month, have 0 listings and feel good. If you get to the 21st of the month and have 0 listings, you know that you're in serious trouble and you rapidly have to shift exactly what it is that you're doing. Let's call past market appraisals, let's go and call past clients, let's go and get on the phone, let's generate opportunity, let's create a reason. And that's actually what great people do, is that they realize that when things are off, they go into immediate action on what to do to be able to make sure that things get back on track. Now, one of the greatest future predictors about what's going to be happening in the listing sales and income is about measuring on the weekly what you're doing around the appointment numbers. Now, we know there are 3 very specific types of appointments that we go for. Buyer appointments, easy to get, build confidence. Market appraisals, so good, we get in front of customers, have conversations about why they would be thinking about buying, moving, and selling. And then the listing appointment is ultimately the great chance that we get to go and win the business. Now, we know that great agents and people that transform their careers, they shift from doing 1 appointment to 2 appointments to ideally 3 appointments a day. Times that by 5 days is 15 appointments. Times that by 4 weeks is 60 appointments. Times that by 10 months in the year is 600 appointments a year. And the secret? Getting the appointments up to date. Now, if you get buyer appointments, that's okay. Later on, we want to transition those into market appraisals. Later on, we want to transition those into listing appointments. The secret is to actually make sure that whatever it is that you're doing, that you're actually lifting up those total number of appointments. And that's where I start in coaching. I start all the way back about tracking what we're doing in terms of the outcomes of appointments that are booked on a day-by-day basis. If you walk through your local supermarket and you pick up 3 appointments, fantastic. Go to supermarkets all day, every day, if that's how you generate your leads. If you generate your leads by calling past market appraisals, then go and do that. If you generate it in the way that you deliver service with great buyer work, then go and do that. The challenge is this. Most people make the decision to stop measuring. They realize that success only ever happens to them, and they kind of work it out when they go in for their annual review, or all of a sudden when their group certificate turns up at the end of the financial year. Don't do that anymore. Don't wait a year to find out whether or not you're on or off track. Know today. Get really clear about your measurement. That's what great agents do, is that they measure their buyer appointments, they measure their market appraisals and listing appointments on a weekly basis and try to get to 15. And then I focus about making sure, how am I going on my listings, actual versus target. Stay focused about nailing the actuals. Everything else happens. That's all you need to do. Realize that measurement is one of your most amazing things that you can use to significantly boom your performance, and that metrics really matter. Hope you've enjoyed this month's Growth Leadership and Management Tip. We look forward to seeing you next month.